right, everyone. Let's talk about something that comes up in the field: trees and construction. Whether it's a small patio going in someone's backyard or a massive commercial development, any construction work near existing trees brings serious risks. And if we are not careful, trees can be damaged in ways that don't show up for months or even years. A lot of people don't realize that a tree's root system can extend well beyond the drip line, and that most of those roots are in the top 12 to 24 inches of soil. So when construction equipment comes in, even if it's not driving right over the base of the tree, it can still cause damage by compacting the soil or cutting into those roots. That top layer of soil is where roots breathe, absorb water, and anchor the tree. Disturb that zone and you risk weakening or even killing the tree. Grade changes are a big problem too. Let's say someone raises the soil 6 or 8 inches to create a level lawn or build up a slope. That extra soil can cover the root flare, reduce oxygen around the roots, and trap too much moisture. Over time, that creates an environment where roots start to rot or suffocate. Lowering the grade can be just as damaging, cutting into the root zone, exposing roots to drying out, and even destabilizing the tree. Either way, it's a disturbance trees aren't built to handle without help. Then there's the issue of compaction. When soil gets compacted by equipment or foot traffic, it loses the spaces that normally hold air and water. For a tree, that's like trying to breathe through a pillow. Roots can't grow, water can't move, and overall health declines. It's one of the most common and most overlooked causes of tree stress on construction sites. Root cutting is another big one. Trenching for utilities or foundations often means slicing through roots, and if those roots are large or close to the trunk, the tree could lose both structural stability and water uptake. The scary part? The tree might look okay for a while, but the damage can lead to decline or failure a few years down the road. Now, there are ways to work around all of this if you plan ahead. Root protection zones, or RPZs, are critical. These are fenced-off areas around the tree where no traffic, excavation, or material storage is allowed. Using alternatives like suspended pavements or soil cell systems can provide support for surfaces like sidewalks, while still allowing roots to grow underneath. Planting decisions also come into play. You have to think long-term. Is this species suited to grow near pavement or utilities? Is there enough soil volume to support it as it matures? Urban trees need more than just a hole in the ground. They need room to grow both above and below. After construction, we're not off the hook. Trees need to be monitored closely in the months and years that follow. Stress symptoms like smaller leaves, early fall color, or crown dieback might show up gradually. Watering, mulching, and protecting the root zone are key. And if you catch problems early, you can often correct course before the tree declines too far. And finally, communication is everything. Arborists need to be involved early during planning and design, not just called in after the fact to deal with a dying tree. The sooner we're involved, the more we can help prevent damage and make sure trees and construction can coexist. So if you take one thing away from this lesson, it's this: construction can be incredibly damaging to trees, but it doesn't have to be. With knowledge, planning, and follow-through, we can protect trees and still get the job done. It just takes a little foresight. and a lot of respect for what's happening underground. Alright, it's time for some call-in questions. Caller number 1.
Hi, I had a patio put in last summer, and the contractor drove equipment across my yard near a big oak. The tree looked fine at first, but this year the leaves are smaller and kind of dull. Could that have anything to do with the construction?
Absolutely. It sounds like you might be dealing with soil compaction. When heavy machinery drives over the root zone, it crushes the tiny air spaces in the soil that roots need for oxygen and water. The roots can't breathe, and over time, that stress shows up as smaller leaves and thinning in the crown. The best thing you can do now is loosen that soil using vertical mulching or air excavation, and apply mulch to protect moisture. Keep the area traffic-free if possible. Caller 2.
Hi, we had a landscaper raise the soil around a maple to level the lawn, probably about 6 inches. Now, I'm seeing dieback in the upper branches. Is that related?
Yes, adding soil around a tree can be very harmful. That extra soil covers the root flare and cuts off oxygen to the fine roots just beneath the surface. Over time, those roots start to suffocate or rot. It's best to remove the added soil carefully and re-expose the root flare. You'll also want to aerate the area and monitor the tree's health closely for the next few seasons. It can take time to recover. Caller 3.
Hello, I'm building a new garage near a big elm in my yard. My contractor says we'll try not to hit the roots. But how do I actually protect the tree?
The key is to plan ahead by setting up a root protection zone before construction starts. That's a fenced-off area around the tree where no digging, driving, or material storage is allowed. Generally, the root protection zone extends at least to the drip line or beyond. If work absolutely has to happen closer, you can use options like suspended pavement or soil cells to support the structure while allowing roots to survive underneath. The earlier you plan that protection, the better your chances of keeping the elm healthy. Alright, it's quiz time. Where are most of a tree's roots located in the soil profile? A. Below 3 feet. B. In the top 12 to 24 inches. C. Right at the trunk base only. Or D. Around the taproot. The answer is B. In the top 12 to 24 inches. This is where most roots responsible for water and nutrient uptake are located. What is the primary issue when soil is compacted during construction? A. It causes branches to snap. B. It increases nutrient availability. C. It reduces air and water movement in the soil. Or D. It leads to immediate leaf loss. The answer is C. It reduces air and water movement in the soil. Compaction eliminates pore space, making it hard for roots to function properly. Why can trees seem fine immediately after construction damage, but decline later? A. They are dormant during construction. B. Symptoms of root damage often take time to appear. C. Trees grow faster after root loss. Or D. Construction stimulates new growth. The answer is B. Symptoms of root damage often take time to appear. Canopy decline, dieback, and stress may not show up for years. True or false? Even small changes to the soil grade can harm tree health. The answer is true. Adding or removing soil disrupts oxygen flow, moisture levels, and root stability. Once a construction project is complete, no further care is needed for trees? The answer is false. Post-construction monitoring and care are essential to help trees recover from stress. Short answer question. What are 2 common causes of tree damage during construction? 2 examples would be soil compaction from equipment and cutting or severing of roots. What's the role of root protection zones and how are they typically enforced? The answer is root protection zones keep equipment and activity away from sensitive root areas. They're usually marked with fencing and signs during construction to prevent disturbance.